Right, so good afternoon, programmers. Good afternoon, engineers, no slash engineers. So welcome to this session. So last time we discussed about few things, few things about the concepts relating to basic programming in Java. Okay, so uh, so far I guess I have introduced to you the idea of data types, variables, as well as the input and output through through console-based mechanism and through GUI mechanism, which is using JOption pane. And I guess we stop from there. Okay, so this time we are going to proceed with um, the operators in Java. So we are going to discuss few things right now. So we have operators in Java. We also have mm, conditional operators, relational operators, logical operators, and other advanced operators. And then after that, we are going to create a program that does decisions. Okay, so if you guys have questions while I'm in the middle of my discussion, you can always interrupt me. Again, if you don't have Eclipse installed in your machine, you can actually make use of online compiler. So you can actually head there and then, yeah, I just type online compiler and you will be redirected in that site. Just choose on any particular site. So you don't have to worry if you don't have a Eclipse, if you don't have computers, because also you can write a program using your phones. However, there are certain limitations. Okay. All right. So I have also invited BES 1B, no 2281B, BS 100B, in case they are free. So are there any students here that are from BES 100 to 2281B na aba? Wala. Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Sige. So I will start directly. Now, let's create another class. So if you guys want to follow what I'm going to type, you can again go there in Google. If you don't have Eclipse, no, if you have, you can have options JCreator, you have Eclipse, you have NetBeans, you have VS Code. Okay, but if you guys don't want to install Java application, you can actually go to online compiler. So online sabong ng gawas rin. So we have online compiler. So you can use this one, Programmist. You can also use online editor, and you can use this JDoodle uh, compilers. So almost most of it are actually almost the same. So you just have to choose a certain language here. So from here, you can use C, C++. You can use, kaya lang, no, it is dependent to, of course, Java. I mean, dependent to internet. So you will need to have a parang stable internet connection. So you can also choose either Python, and this one is Python, this one is C, this one is C++, and then we have here Java, and then we have here JavaScript, and then we have here C Sharp rather, and then we have here JavaScript. So you can choose Java compiler. Okay, and there you are. You will be redirected to Java compiler. Okay, and you can start typing and running your application. All right, so the same with what you have right here. Okay, so the language or the options of the language where you can choose from are here at the upper part of your window. You just have to choose here. different languages. So since we are using Java, you can just choose Java here. Yan. And then also right here, we have here JDoodle. So you can use also this one. But again, you can choose any language here. So Java, Python, Pascal, and a lot more, no? So medyo daghan kay siya ang options or kapilian nato. Okay? So right now, I am going to head over to our to Eclipse. So this time we're going to create another class, and let's discuss about operators, no? Java operators. Again, if you guys have like questions, while even though I'm in the middle of my discussion, you can always interrupt me para I could address your confusions or whatever queries you are going to have towards me. Okay, so this time, when we talk about operators in Java, of course, part of which is the relational, the arithmetic operators. Well, we've already discussed about arithmetic operators. So basically, the same operators in mathematics are used in Java and in all programming languages actually. So we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus operation. Okay, so this time let's discuss some other operators in Java. So let's start with relational operators. Relational operators. Now, when we talk about relational operators, these are used to create comparisons. Okay, and these comparisons and these operators, aside instead of it's going to give us a, uh, a value or a numerical value, compared to like numerical or double value or with decimal point na value, like the same with the arithmetic operators. This relational operators would give us true or false. Okay, so it will give us true or false. Okay, so right here, some relational operators, I mean the relational operators that the Java has are less than, greater than. Okay, so in mathematics, these are actually the same. So we have less than or equal, and then greater than or equal, and then we have equal. So that is comparison equal or relational comparison equal operator, and then we have not equal. So these are the relational operators in Java. Now let's go directly on how to implement this. So all we just need to do is we are going to create a variables to store our data or a value. So let's say we want to uh, compare numbers. So x is equal to 12, y is equal to, let's say, 5, z is equal to -5, and then, yeah, so let's say that's it. Now, if we want to display the, let's say, display the result of this one, we just need, an output operator, our output statement. So we can use a console base or a GUI base. Now this time, let's make use of, para mas dali, we'll have here, okay, console-based application, which is system.out.println. So right here, let's say for an instance, I wanna compare the value of x to the value of y if it's less than 2, if x is less than y, and this would give us only true or false. So again, the result would be either true or false. And obviously, since the value of x is 12 and the value of y is 5, if you are going to compare them based on mathematically, of course, this will give us a false output, which is since 12 is greater than 5. And in a similar manner, if you want to do like this, is x is greater than y, then we have here true statement for the second statement. Now we can actually run this one to see the output. So there you have the false and true because again, x is actually greater than the value of y, while here we change the comparison greater than or equal to y. Now, if this is the case, these relational operators are actually used in for creating decisions. So I'll be giving I am going to discuss about decisions in later on, but to give you an idea on how to create decisions by using relational operators, you have here something like if x is less than y, so that means you are telling the compiler to process x and less than y. That means if it's true, so since if it's true, then we are going to display something. X is greater, x is less than y, something like that. Or if you don't want to, if you want to, create another expression or another, yeah, a condition, you just have to go like greater than y, and let's copy paste this one, and this would give us x is greater y. So depending on what you would like to achieve, but what we are going to, what's the purpose of this program is only it's going to display the value of whether an x, compare whether an x is greater or less than y, or if it is actually equal to y. So is equal to y. So now if we're going to run this one, you have here 12 is greater than 5. Now, again, if you're going to change this to like you have here x is 2 and y is 5, then we have here 2 is less than 5. So meaning to say this else if black condition is actually processed. I mean this one is actually processed. Okay, so that's it for relational operators. Now take note that the less than or equal means that even though the value is not less than, but if it's equal to, meaning there is exclusivity, which is appeal ang or means there is equal or less than or equal. Meaning to say, if you have, let's say, x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 5, or let's say i-change natin siya by 5, that would mean that if you're going to let's say less than y, naman taas, no? Okay. So we have here x is less than y. This would give us unsa man, true or false? Is y x, the value of x is less than y, true or false?
False.
Okay, false. Okay, because why is it
Equal.
false? Okay,
Equal to.
because they are equal. So either you put this one as equal, that means true, or you have here less than or equal, meaning including 5. So meaning x is less than or equal to y. Okay, so this would give us true. So try sa nato. This will give us both false. Therefore, atong condition is equal to y. That means that 5 is equal to 5, and that is actually a proof, no? Based on mathematical conditions in propositions proofing, you can say that 5 is equal to 5. Okay, so now let's say we are going to make this as equal. So this would give us true now. So because including 5. So 5 is less than or equal to 5. Okay, that's simple, I guess, no? Because again, we've been doing this in mathematics, and that's how Java reads our codes. Okay, so the rules in mathematics are the same rules that all programming languages have been using actually. Okay, because programming is an applied mathematics. Okay, we don't just solve mathematical problems here, but we apply them in a way that we make them work. Okay, so and then making it like there is actually everything that we do here are all like mathematics. Okay, so that's why kung mag-comsci ka or for IT people, most likely they don't have a bunch of most of their courses doesn't have actually mathematics, but for com-sci students, they almost the same ang mathematics with engineering. Okay, because we also have like discrete structures, advanced discrete structures, and then calculus, of course, no, which is vital to computer science students. So right now, that's how relational operators work. So I guess you're familiar with that. You just have to change these operators. So not equal. So if you're going to uh, put this not equal to y, that means this is, so y is not, x is not equal to y. That is, what is the result of this one? Let's say y is not equal to z. So what's the result of this one? This one will be false. This one will be x is not equal to y. That is, this one is true or false?
False.
False, because they are equal. How about y is not equal to z? This is
False yapon, sir.
okay. False. Are you sure?
I true the sir. A negative 5 man, sir.
Okay, very good. Because z is actually negative 5. That means false, false, true, true. So easy, because that is only one expression. Because we only use one proposition. Okay? So in discrete structures, we call this as proposition or statement, right? So now, what if we are going to create propositions or expressions like two expressions? So that's the time we are going to use logical operators. So logical operators are also going to give us true or false, and relational operators are also used, but particularly once we have compound propositions. Okay, if you're familiar, I am sure no familiar mo sa discrete, okay, discrete structures or discrete mathematics. So if we have compound propositions, okay, we use this one as and, no, di ba? So this one is conjunction. Tama ba? Are you familiar with discrete math? And this one is disjunction, and this one is negation. Okay? So in programming, we also have these ones are also applied or implemented through these symbols. We have and, we have or, the pipe symbol, and we have the not symbol. Okay? So this one. No, this one. So this one is for and, while this one is for or. Okay, and this is or, and this is actually not. Okay, so in discrete mathematics, this is conjunction, this is disjunction, and this is negation. So symbol in mathematics, the symbol you use for conjunction is this one, and we have this one. By the way, inverted ay siya dapat di wa magula yung symbol that I can use, but again, that's the symbol for disjunction and for negation. So, and then, but since we are in programming, we are going to use these operators. But again, they do the same. All right. So let's say for an instance, we have here these operators and, or, and not, and we are going to use them if we have compound propositions. Meaning to say, we have two expressions, we have two propositions. The first proposition and the second proposition, if we combine them together, that makes another proposition or another statement. So, in mathematics, we know that if we use conjunction, like A conjunction of B, okay, truth table for A conjunction of B, right, uh, is equal to the result. Okay, so let's say for an instance, if we have 1 and 1, right, so 1 and 1, the resulting value would be, the resulting proposition would be 1. Okay, so 1 and 0, the resulting expression would be 0. 0 and 1, the resulting expression would be 0. And then 0 and 0, the resulting proposition would be 0. So take note that in the conjunction or and logical and operator, so there is only one instance that the expression or the proposition will be true if and only if the both propositions or both expressions are true. So, by the way, when we in programming, there are some programming language that uses one to represent true and then zero for false. So that means depending on the programming language that we use. Actually, in C++ and C, it uses 1 or 0, which is similar to mathematics. But in Java uses the actual value, which is true and false. But again, it's the same. 1 for true and 0 for false. So therefore, the truth table for and conjunction or this conjunction operator is this is true and true, then true is 1 and 0, or true and false, then false, 0 and true, false and true is false, false and false is false. Meaning to say, if you have, let's say, I'm going to uh, let A, you have the house, okay, and let B, you have the lot, okay, and then the statement would tell that I am going to marry you if you have house and lot. So that would mean that both expressions must be true, that you have both house and you have the lot. So both dapat present sa imong house and lot so that you can marry someone, or sa you can marry this person by something like that. So if the person has only like house, so let's say the A has house, let A na siya house, that's true, pero wala siya lot, then that means the entire expression is false because it is actually based on the truth table that you must have both. So you have only house but you don't have the lot, then therefore the expression is false. Okay, so the same thing with right here, you don't have the house but you have the lot, but still it's false. How much more if you don't have any? So therefore the entire expression will always be false. So now in programming, we do this by either ibutan na to siya sa boolean, or we can simply put it here. Okay, and let's have here butan na to siya sa data part. Okay, so now we have x is less than, let's say, y, and y is greater than, let's say, z. So this time you have now two expressions, the a and then the b. So the expression here, a is x is less than y, uh, x is less than y says that the first expression or proposition is actually what? Based on our values, the resulting value for this one is actually false. I mean, this proposition is actually false, and the expression or the proposition y is greater than z, that is actually true. So based on our condition, okay, based on our expression or proposition, false and true, that means this one. Okay, kani siya na uh, kani siya na unsay tawag ani table or truth table. So dili siya false and true, that means the entire expression is false. So whenever you run your program, that we would you will be given with a false output. Okay, so you can, yes, is there any question? So you can have here like B1 equals, so let's say A na lang na to. So A is equal to, let's say, X is less than Y. And then let B is equal to Y is greater than Z. And then we're going to combine them like A, and then B. Okay? So now if so A and B. So it's clear now that we use this variables A and B, no? A conjunction to B, A and B. We have here false and true is equal to false using Boolean operators. So either or, depende sa inyo ang gamiton, either katulang gyapon siya. I mean, we just store it to a Boolean value so that it will give us true or false. So again, if you guys want to uh, like display the what is the value of actually A, and then let's have here uh, A conjunction of B or is equal to, sorry, is equal to the result of A and B. Yeah. So we can now remove this one. So this would give us false true is equal to false. That is, based sa tuang truth table, we have false and true, that's still false. Okay? Or programmatically, you can use AND operator. Okay? So that's for AND operator. So if both are true, let's say since true, this one is true, less than, let's say less than or equal to y, that means both are actually true. Okay, so when we run this one, you will have true, true, and true is equal to true. So meaning you have the house and you have the lot, and therefore the entire proposition is actually true. Then yeah, the entire expression is actually true. Then whatever consequence you are giving to the person, that means the proposition is valid. Okay, so that's how you do it for relational no, logical operators. Okay, now let's have for disjunction. So in disjunction, okay, in disjunction, this is actually an opposite of conjunction. You have here this, since I don't have the parang symbol, so in mathematics, that's actually something like that. So bini siya pero wala, basta ana siya. Okay, inverted sa conjunction. So you have 1 and 1, that's 1. 1 and 0, it's actually 1. And then 1, 0 and 1, it's actually 1. And 0 and 0, it's actually 0. So that would mean if you have this one is or. I'm going to marry you if you have house or lot. So meaning, at least na siya house or at least na siya lot. The same thing in the truth table, I am going to marry you. Let B, A, you have the house or B, you have the lot. So either at least na siya ownership of house or the lot. Or vice versa, or baliktad. You don't have the house but you have the lot. So since or meaning the entire expression is also true. So of course, if you don't have both, then that's the time the expression is false. So right here, if you're going to change this into an or operator, we would have here true, and true is equal to actually true. Yan. Or if let's say change natin siya to less than y, and the value of our x is 5 and y is 5. So notice that this will give us false and true, and then false, and then true. This one is also like false. False and true is giving us true because we use this junction proposition. Okay? So false and true, false. False or true is equal to true. Alright? Sige. So, question so far? Dali lang, di ba? Okay? Sige. So, if you're going to create decisions for that, so this is our basis for creating decisions. We have here, let's say, if, so let's say B1 and B2, okay? If, sorry, what's that? A, D, I. So A and B, so you have here, let's say cis. Oh. So I am going to marry you. Okay. Else, I am not going to marry you. Okay. So let's have another. This one is not negation. So if you have here or, so or, A or, sorry, B day dapat ni. A and B and A or B. Let's see what is the result. So based on if you're going to evaluate it, we have false and true. False meaning that if you're using and operator, which is a conjunction proposition, this would give us false. Therefore, this block of statement here is the consequence. Therefore, this will not be executed because it's false. Therefore, it is going to proceed to the else statement. While in the or means that either you have the house or you have the lot. It doesn't matter kung wala, basta either or. So you have here, I am going to marry you. So you have here the two results. I am not going to marry you, and I am going to marry you. That's for or, and this one is for and. Okay, so that's it. I'm sure that's also simple. Now, we have the negation operator. The negation operator is used for, this is used for negating a certain value. When it is not true, it is false. Okay? When it is true, it is false. When it is false, it's actually true because you're going to negate the proposition. So, meaning to say that when it is true, since not true, this would give us a false value. When it is not false, this would give us equals to true. So there are situations in programming that we need this kind of conditional statement, particularly in loopings. Okay, so this is actually the truth table of negation. Okay, now how are we going to use them? So if this is unary This is only unary, by the way. So meaning one operator and one operand only. So let's say if the result of this one is false, x is less than y, given that the value of x is 5 and y is equal to 5, this would give us false. So you can say here that if it's false, if A, so as we all know, the result of A is actually false. So you can have here, say if A, you you have only you have you have house only. Okay, but if you're going to negate it using negation operator by saying not, you don't have the house. Okay, so you don't have the house. Yeah, so let's run the program. So I am going, you don't have the house. You don't have the house. So negate niya, no? Although, again, the result of this one is since false, not true, you don't have the house. Something like that. Well, this one, you have house only. So since they don't have any else statement, therefore, wala siya i-display after, in the consequence of else. Okay, so that's negation operator. Okay, now things will get difficult. I mean, easy lang siya if you know how to read them, but things will get difficult if you are going to combine the you have multiple propositions now. Let's say, for an instance, you have a 4 or 5 propositions or expressions. So you'll need to follow of course, you'll need to follow the truth table. And by using programming, so we will let the compiler do that for us. But of course, for developing logic to the students, you must have known how to read it before we actually run them. So, example, we have, let's say, in proposition, they are represented with P, Q, R, and S, right? So in discrete mathematics, right, they are represented with P, Q, R, and S. So let's say we have P is equal to 23, Q is equal to 5, R is equal to negative 20 or 50, and then S is equal to, let's say, 10. So if you're going to combine these operators, so you have here P. Okay, P is, let's say, P is less than Q. Okay, and P is less than R, and R is greater than or equal to S. So in this case, based on the proposition or the expression that we have, we just use AND operator. Okay, so this would evaluate P and Q and P and R and R and S using the conjunction. So what's the result of this one? This is P and Q. P less than Q. This one is ayo. Asa naman ni sila? Okay, this one is false or true?
False.
False. Okay. How about the other one? P less than R. P less than R. That's still okay. False. So actually, since we use AND operator, mas dali siya. I mean, ang compiler in reading it, actually it is going to assume na that the value is actually false. I mean, the entire expression is false. Kasi and man, the moment na false in and operator, your proposition will always be, false. So, because that's conjunction. Okay? So, regardless pa kung true ni siya. Okay? So, which is R is actually false pagani. So, of course, the entire expression will be false. So, let's say we have E greater than Q. Okay, that's actually true. So, still mag-false siya. Now, what if you combine P, or, and you have here, let's say, or, and uh, Q, and Q and R. Okay. And then you have here, let's say, P and Q, or P and QR, P and Q, and then P and R, and then you negate the value of the result of P less than Q and P less than R. So, ayan. So, if we're going to, of course, prove this, the equality or the result of this one, we'll have to read them one by one. But we can actually, I mean, because we applied it in the programming, then we let the compiler do this reading. But if you're going to read this one, this will give us, so P is less than Q, that is, P less than Q is actually false. Okay, and then we have here, or P and less than R. P is less than R, which is false, but it's actually or. And then you have here and R is greater than or equal to S, which is R. That's false. So this will give us false, and then false and false is false pa rin siya. Okay, so that's how you actually do it. Now, in here, okay, so the same gyapon imong buhaton. So, this expression, evaluate, then evaluate, and then after the resulting value of this one, evaluate nimo to or, and then this one, okay, and from left to right. Now, how about this one? Okay, kasi this one has now parentheses. So the order of precedence is now changed. So meaning the order of precedence in our in this particular expression is now changed to this one na mauna dapat ni, or something like anything na naa sa, okay, ang unang yun yun na is ang naa sa parentheses. Okay? Before you evaluate it from here. Until ma-simplify na nimo siya, so you have, though pwede ka mag-start with this one, but, okay, the result of this one plus the result of this one must be evaluated first kanisa before nimo siya ibutang dire, because you are going to negate, unary siya. Meaning, the resulting value of this one, if it's, let's say, true, is it true? R is greater than or equal to S, that's actually false. And Q, false na siya daan. So, kay end operator. So, false. So, since not false is true, then therefore, this will be true. And then that's the time you will evaluate this until i-evaluate nimo siya sa result aning negation, or not with the not operator na ay propositions na and. Okay? Conjunction. Oh, yeah. Propositions or conjunction na and. So, ayan. So, there, even though, so nag-true na siya, even though nag-false na to siya, so while not false, na true, Okay, remember this is false because we have false statement here, but na-true siya because of the negation or not operator. And then probably the resulting value of this one is true because true and then or probably if this is false, and then since we use or, false and true is still true. Okay? So, but if happens that this one is true, then nag-negate niya into false, this will be false. And if happens this one is also false, then false and false is equal to false. Okay? Do you follow? Did you
Yes,
guys
sir.
follow? Okay, very good. Sige. Just going to stop the recording.